Alicia, hey,
Hey!
so awesome to have you here. Thanks so much for doing this.
Oh my gosh, thanks for having me. I'm excited. This is
How are
fun.
you doing?
Amazing, as always.
As always, did you do your Instagram morning music pump
Yeah.
up?
Yeah, I did it extra early today because you wanted a 10 a.m. for my time, which is usually my workout time, but I made it happen early so I could be here with you. So yeah, we got our hype on already.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
thanks for that. But and
We
guys,
don't
in
eat
case you don't know, Alicia does. It's every morning or most mornings you do
every morning. No,
get the community
non-negotiable, Chuck.
hyped.
Non-negotiable.
and I and I love it. It gets me going. It's the greatest thing.
That's the point. It's like I'm hyping up. Are you hyping up? It's time for you to hype up too.
The thing I love about it the most, which I think is such a beautiful thing, is we all take everything so fucking serious,
Yep.
and humor is like the great humor. Not taking life serious, so serious
Mhm.
is that's one of the best pills you can take, and
100%.
I get to
Agreed.
tuning into you're reminded of that, where it's like, God damn, why am I so serious right now? Like,
Yep.
lighten the fuck up,
Gotta laugh at
dude.
yourself every once in a while, you know?
Yeah,
That's
it's a
fine.
gift you give to everybody every day. I love it.
Freely will give all the time.
Well, that's a good start. Is your story is awesome, um, and I want to go back like 5 years ago, where I want to go back where how long ago it was where you weren't even thinking about the social media stuff. You weren't, I would be curious of like what fitness was in your life, but
Mhm.
I don't know. Let's say I don't know, is that like 45 maybe
Yeah,
46?
ish. So I'm 51 now. So to be completely honest with you, I've been posting on social media for a long time, but
Okay.
I never thought that it would be what it is right now. I never envisioned what has happened. That would never cross my mind. I've just truly, honestly enjoyed social media. I love how we can connect through social media, how we can inspire and educate through social media, and so it's just something that I've always enjoyed. And I was previously a portrait photographer, so I would post for that business as well. But never did I imagine that I would be where I'm at today. So it's just more like a sharing my life type of thing. Um,
Kind of like a, not to cut you off, like a common thing people post on social, but they don't really have any expectation of it. Did you have any expectations or wants from it at that point? Or was it just like I'm sharing and then, if anything happened with it, great, but I'm not like thinking much about it?
I think that I felt that I would come to social media because people would talk so bad about social, saying, "Oh, it's just it's people are just only showing their best thing, and it's so negative, and it's so this." And I was like, you can make your social media whatever you want. You can curate it and curate your feed to whatever you want. And you can leave social media feeling great and inspired and educated. And that's how I looked at it. So I would come to social media for that. And then I think probably there was part of me that wanted to be that for somebody else, especially as I was starting to kind of go through my own changes in life. I wanted to inspire others the way that I was inspired. That would probably have been my thought as I was posting, to maybe even if it was just one or two people, to be able to inspire them and help them.
That says a lot about where you are today. But okay, so let's say you're like 45 and how many social media followers do you have at that time?
Ooh.
And you're doing some portrait photography and you're posting and what type of content are you posting on social at that time?
So at that time, I did post fitness stuff. I was doing CrossFit because I did CrossFit for a good 8 years. I was really into that. So I would post my CrossFit stuff. I would post a lot of fashion because I'm into clothes and fashion. I'm trying to think of what else. I'm thinking I maybe at that time had around 2,000 followers, maybe something like that. So nothing major. But I always have been health, fitness, fashion type type of content. Anything inspiring as well. Funny. I like to be funny and silly. You know that. So that's basically what my content was at that time.
So you're just existing kind of in that world with a couple thousand followers. You're doing portrait photography as your profession, and then something starts to click. Something starts to happen.
Yeah.
What
So
happens?
Well, basically, okay, so at 45, I decided to cut out alcohol. That's when I quit alcohol. And that was a big deal for me because I had a love hate relationship with it for a long time. And it was really only me that had a problem with it. Nobody else in my life said anything to me about it. It was just me hating it, hating how it made me feel. I was coming into perimenopause. It was just, my body was not recovering. And it was a big deal to cut that out of my life. Like that was a huge part of what my daily life was about. So I cut that out, and it took a minute for me to start sharing about that. I wasn't quite ready right away to share about it. So I think probably within the first year after I quit, I started sharing little bits of it because I thought I was inspired by other people that did this. And I'm sure there are other women in my position that feel the exact same way that I do. And there's so much guilt and shame around it that I think women don't want to talk about it, how they actually really feel. And so I thought, I'm going to start talking about it and I'm going to start sharing about it and see what happens. And I started having so many women message me and say, you inspired me so much by what you shared. Please don't stop sharing about this. And thank you so much for sharing this and being vulnerable and being open. And I thought, wow, if I can just even have a small impact by sharing my story around this and helping other women get free from this and feel totally free and feel like a new person from this, then my job here is done. Like, this is amazing. So that was kind of the start of it. And then do you want me to keep going to the last kind of most recent chapter? So that was age 45. And then coming on to at around age 48, we were prepping for my youngest daughter to take off for college. We'd already dropped my oldest daughter off. She was in Indiana. I'm in the Pacific Northwest, just north of Seattle. So she dropped her off in Indiana in 2020 and all that craziness. And then my youngest daughter getting ready to drop her off at Arizona State. So both girls going to be out of state. We're going to be empty nesters. And I just thought to myself, this is a whole new chapter. What is life going to look like? This is crazy. I've been raising girls for the last 20 years. And really, even though I did my portrait photography stuff, they were always my number one. Like they're always my first and foremost priority. And now they're going to be gone. And who am I? And looking at my husband, like, who are you? And what are we? And what? It's crazy how much it really does. It's all consuming, which is amazing. And it's wonderful. And I have two, like my girls are amazing, amazing kids. And we poured a lot into them, but now it's like, this is my turn. This is my time. I'm going to do what I want to do. And as I said, I've always been about health and fitness. It's always been a priority, but now I'm just like, okay, I'm seeing, social media tries to make us think that, oh, it's all going to go downhill. As soon as you hit your 40s and 50s, you just don't have a chance anymore to change your physique. And I thought, that's just, I'm not buying that. I'm just not buying that. And I found a few women, again, on social media who were inspiring me. And I saw they had made changes. And I needed to switch up what I was doing here in perimenopause. Like, our bodies are not the same as they were in their 20s and 30s. We're changing. Our bodies are changing. We need to switch this up. Plus all of the things that we've been fed my entire life, Gen X. So I decided I'm not going to believe the narrative, and I'm going to freaking lock in on what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it. And I don't care what anybody else is doing. I told my husband, I'm like, you do you, boo. This is what I'm going to do. Told my friends, you do you. This is what I'm going to do. This is where I'm going. This is where I'm headed. Love ya, but this is what I'm doing. And it was crazy how my body changed. I honestly didn't think it was going to do what it did. I was like, wow, okay. There's some muscles pop. Wow, I got abs. I didn't realize I had all those abs. Okay, here we go. So as I was doing that, I was sharing more and more on social media, just again with that intention of, I always show up as me. I always show up like, this is me. This is what you get. And very just basic, like, these are the things that I did, girls. I stopped doing the CrossFit. I stopped doing all the HIIT. I started lifting and getting back into the weight room. I started walking, and I locked in on my nutrition. And I obviously cut out the alcohol, but at that time I also cut out sugar because it had kind of turned into a sugar thing. So I cut that out. And as I started sharing, it honestly, it was crazy, Jeff, because it was December of 2023. I believe I had about 5,000 followers in December of 2023. We were on vacation in Disneyland with my family. And I had just been making, just making reels. I started making stuff in CapCut, just kind of play around. Again, I post consistently. I've been posting consistently for years and years and years. Okay. Consistently, like always showing up on my stories, always showing up on my feed, just hoping to help somebody, right? all of a sudden these reels started going viral. And I was like, what is happening? And all of a sudden, and I'm like on vacation trying to pay attention with my family and, having fun, going on the rides. And I'm like, what? I literally just got 20,000 followers today. Like, what is going on? Like, what is going on? My family and I were all looking at each other. We're like, every time we we're on my phone and it's like we hit refresh and it was like another 5,000 followers. I'm like, why are all these people following me? This is crazy. What's going on? And it just took off. Like, it just took off from there. And it's been nuts ever since. And it's been awesome. I love it. Anyway, sorry, I'll let you question me again. What's the next question?
It's awesome. That was great. And there are a couple things along the way that I'm really curious on. So you cut out alcohol, you cut out sugar, and then I would assume that your life has always had a spark. You have a special personality. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But would you say that spark has like blossomed, or your energy is amplified as you have really optimized your health?
100.
Got it.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely, you're right. I've always been and I've, to tell you the truth, I've been in dark places where I've had to work through that dark place to bring myself to a light place. And I'm a woman of faith. So I have to say that is a basis for a lot of things for my joy. But, and there has always been that level of confidence that I've had, regardless of my physique or anything. I've had a little bit of swagger always, and just confident in who I am. But this has exactly the word you said, amplified it 100%, like taking it to the next level.
And even with your general fitness, like, even though, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way at all, even if you've been working out, looking at your before and after pictures, whatever you're doing it was working, but it might not have been working nearly as well as whatever, your transition. And so I kind of say that as, I think a lot of people, as they're working out, where they haven't kind of put all the levers together, they are working out and they're frustrated, and I don't know, they feel a little lethargic, a little frustrated. They feel like they're going to the gym all the time. They're not getting results. But did you ever feel like that at all? Where you're like, this doesn't really work that well for me? And then kind of like some things that you're doing just in your fitness and nutrition journeys, like those things started to click?
I honestly felt with this recent chapter, I felt like that before with CrossFit and maybe running and those things. But when I locked in with what I'm doing now, I felt pretty good from the get-go. I felt pretty like, this is it. Like, this, what I'm doing, this is it. This is where I needed to be. I don't know what it was. This time it just felt different, and it felt pretty good from the get-go.
Okay. So then you put your fitness and nutrition together. You give up your biggest vices. You have this great physical transformation.
Yep.
That happens over like 12, 18 months.
Yep.
Okay. And then you're posting on Instagram, you're like 2,000, you're at 5,000. And then kind of the lesson there is, because we work with a lot of folks who have 500, 1,000, or 1,500 followers, and they're just like, I say to some folks, your general perspective on social, like, you can look at it like, oh, I have to post and it's a chore. But it's also the world's greatest marketing tool ever. It's also, you said something earlier too, that's like, you probably wouldn't even think anything that you were doing was possible if you didn't see other people doing it on social. And that's the amazing and the beautiful part of social. So you've had an optimistic outlook at social, it sounds like, where you're like, even if I have 2,000 or 5,000 followers and my growth isn't crazy, I still just want to post for the love of posting. Like, is that, how did you kind of think about that, where kind of put yourself in someone else's shoes, who's like, I'm trying to post for business and it just doesn't feel like it's working. Your attitude was just like, I'm just going to keep sharing.
Yep. I think you got to get out of your head on those kinds of things. I think we get in our head too much about stuff, and you also need to, just like putting reps in the gym, you need to post a lot and often. And if you're not posting very much, you're not putting enough reps in, the more you post, the more chances you have of getting traction. So that just continue to post, and then the better and better you get at it. The better you get at making content and finding what hits and what doesn't. But like I said, I just thought, because I've seen this analogy before on social where, we think, oh, I only got 100 likes or I only got 100 views. Imagine if you were in a room with 100 people. and they're all listening to you speak or they're all watching you, that would be a big deal. Like 100 people is not, that's like not nothing. That is, you'd be like, wow, okay, I got 100 captive eyes. This is a big deal. But you think it's not a big deal on social. So it's like, you just don't even realize there might be 100 people out there that need you to post and need to see what you have to share, because that could be inspiring them or helping them. So get out of your own head with that and realize that you are making a difference. You are helping somebody, and somebody does need to listen to what you have to say. And the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. I hope that helps.
That was beautiful. I mean, that's
Yeah.
so well said. There's multiple things that are happening in parallel too that it's like unpacking, which is you get your fitness tight, you get your nutrition tight, you're letting go of your vices, you're
Mm-hmm.
practicing a lot on social media. And then I would assume you're not just posting either. You're posting, you're trying to get better at the tools, you're looking at what's working. So it sounds like you're incrementally learning to become a better creator. Is that fair?
Yes, 100%. And also, you're engaging. Like, you better be engaging with other people and commenting on other people's accounts and responding to comments and responding to DMs. And that's what social is about. It's not about posting and leaving. Like, you got to be engaging and talking to people and actually, truly, genuinely connecting with people. And I do honestly believe, I really do believe that there's an energy that people can pick up even in through your posts. I truly believe that, because it's like, that's something that I even had to think about myself. Like, why are all these people following me, and what is it like? Why? And I just, there is an energy that I put into my posts that I actually feel and that I connect with as I'm creating that post. It's not just like, oh, it's like, okay, who am I speaking to? I'm speaking to who I was. I'm speaking to this woman. I want her to feel this way. I want to give her this energy as I'm putting this post out. People pick up on that, and that's unique, and that is what's going to, that will draw people in immediately. If you're just doing it and going through them, I mean, obviously not every day is magnetic and wonderful, but there is an energy, I do believe, in general, you need to live in as you are creating, if that makes sense, that people are going
Oh,
to be drawn to, that's unique about you.
it's I you validate that whether it's true or not. Like
Yeah.
everything about you validates that's a correct statement.
Yeah.
It's yeah, you can feel it with you for sure.
Yeah, I
Um,
think so too. you know
no,
yeah.
there's no doubt. There's no doubt. Um, so then you're optimizing all these things. You're getting better and better, and then that all where it's not luck. It's leading up to a moment where you you're getting you're building your social media skills, and then partially is like you've also built this great look. You're practicing your energy, and then you're kind of putting a new 2.0 person into content.
Hmm.
So you're starting to learn the algorithm, learn the game, and then you're also a part of what makes the algorithm go is the person that's inside of the content, right?
Hmm. Yep.
Um, then there's a moment where you have one or two posts that go off,
Hmm.
and then what how do you start thinking about the world in that there? Is it like I'm going to double down on this? Like what are you thinking?
I was like, wow, okay, all of a sudden all these people are watching me. All these people, I've got all these eyes on me. This is like totally new. But I honestly, looking back now, I felt like all of those years sharing on social and sharing on my stories and getting on and talking on stories prepared me for that moment. Because I wouldn't have been, if I hadn't done all that beforehand, I wouldn't have been ready for that moment when it came. I would have been maybe a little bit more flustered, but I had that confidence to proceed, like with confidence, because I had been doing it for a while. And so I was like, okay, we got this. This is amazing. And I realized that people were wanting that hope. People were wanting that help. People were wanting that inspiration. I'm like, okay, I can do this. But I had all those years of practice showing up. So it's like, if I all of a sudden was just, posting for a little while on social media and then all of a sudden I blew up, I might be a little flustered. But getting all those reps in beforehand, you're like, okay, I'm ready for this. I got this. I can do this.
That's awesome. And then I'm assuming the mind starts to change a little bit where you're like, is it, I got more eyes on me now. I got to like really dial in my content creation skills. I would love to hear about that. Then you're like, do you start thinking about the business side of it? Like, how does your mind start to progress in terms of
Well,
where things are going?
yeah, for sure. And I had already So before everything started popping off, I had already decided I wanted to phase out of photography and I wanted to go into this health and fitness arena with midlife women because I felt like there was a huge void. So I had already started getting my website together, my email list. I started getting all the infrastructure and everything set up, and then everything took off so quick. I was like, oh, okay, that happened a little bit faster than I thought it was going to happen. So I had to kind of get going as far as like getting my certifications and figuring out what I'm doing now, because people were wanting something more from me. Like they're wanting like, what is your routine and what are you doing, and we need to buy your routine and what exactly you're doing. And so that's when I needed to mobilize myself and get my ducks in a row. Which is when that's exactly when I started working on it and started making things happen quickly.
You had the intent of, there's a phase in your life, girls are out, and you're like, I have the intent where I want to do something inside of coaching, fitness and wellness, selling fitness and wellness products. So that's kind of driving me under the hood. And then how clear was that vision? Or was it just like, I'm going to post the content, start moving in that direction, and then I don't have an exact timeline when I want to do it. It's just, I'm just going to push in that direction. Like, how clear was what you wanted to do
before I went viral?
Yeah. Like,
yeah,
I guess
it was clear to me. That's what I wanted to do. It was very
clear.
What
was that? Like,
what do
you want to do? Like, if you were to write down on paper, like, this is what I wanted to do, and you were explaining to someone, what was that?
Oh, the specific vision. I mean, I wasn't totally positive. I wasn't sure exactly how I was going to make that happen as a business, but I did know that I was using the Playbook app for my workouts, and I was like, this app is awesome. I was like, I don't really see any other women in the midlife space doing this on this app, or maybe I just hadn't seen them yet and they were there, but I was just like, I'm going to go do it. Because if I don't see anybody else in there, I'm going to go be that person and go in there and do it. That's exactly what I told myself. And then that's exactly what I did. So I might have not necessarily had the exact vision for how it was going to all play out, but I knew I wanted to do something in general. And then it got more narrow and focused when everything started happening quickly.
God, that's perfect. Yeah. So then, okay, so you're like, I want to do this. I'm going to start getting better at content. Things start clicking. You start going viral. Then you start thinking, hey, I'm going to do you start taking content creation more serious than you were?
Yeah. I mean, I've always truly been I'm a creative person, just as a photographer. I come from a family of just very creative. So it kind of comes somewhat naturally to me. And while I did feel that, it's got to be good, it's got to hit all the time, I really wanted to stay close to always being me and not trying to create something just because I had a big following. Does that make sense? I always wanted to stay true to who I am and be authentic still with everything that I post. Because I do believe that people sniff that out. They can pick that stuff up. So I knew in my head, like, I don't ever want to overthink it, like overdo it, overthink it, get too extravagant. I just always want to keep it simple and straightforward, but clear and always true to me, if that makes sense. I knew in my head that's where I wanted to be.
Makes perfect sense. And then was there any part of you that ever thought it would be what it is today?
No. I never could have imagined that. I mean, I might have started believing it when, after a month of things just steadily taking off. Because I think I went from 5,000 in December, and then I think by March I was around 300,000. I mean, that's just insane. And so I think by that time I was like, okay, this is happening. But I don't think before I would have ever imagined, ever in a million years. Never. Couldn't even. Like, it was like, and I talk about this all the time. It's like, it's in Atomic Habits, that compound effect. How you get in that valley of despair. You just think it's just not happening. It's not working. Or he talks about the ice cube freezing and then it melting. How you do all this work and it's at 31 degrees and it's still frozen. And then all of a sudden at 32, it starts melting. But we don't see it that way, right? And so it was just like, I've been doing all these things all along years and years and years and years. And then all of a sudden it just busts. So even though I had read that and I knew that it was actually happening, it was hard to believe. Kind of crazy.
And then I want to start shifting towards present moment and kind of how you look at the world today and how you operate today. But I'm assuming it's been a mass positive force in your life? Like,
Yes.
do you like? Yeah, I don't want to lead the horse to water, but do you love it? Is it everything you want it to be and more? Like, how does it feel for you?
It feels amazing. I mean, I love it. That I feel for the first time in my life at age 51, I've never felt more aligned with everything that I'm doing right now in my life. I feel 110% aligned with everything that I'm doing. I get to have fun. I get to create. I get to be creative. And I get to share that with others. And I get to help other women and inspire other women and watch other women absolutely change their minds and change their mindset and change their physique and completely transform and just have the best life ever. I mean, what is this? What is this? Could there be anything better than that? There's nothing better than, I don't know. I feel it's the best feeling ever. I feel so thankful and so joyful.
Coaching really is an amazing. It's especially with being able to scale it too. But it's like what a better way to make a living, right?
I mean, impacting other people and seeing other people, helping them to become their best selves. Like, it's the best. It's the best. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about kind of present day. Let's also talk about, so you have this big following now, and then to take kind of a negative spin, you have that obviously comes with people who are critics, and if you're kind of a new creator coming up, the things that you're afraid of, you're probably afraid of putting yourself out there talking on camera. You're afraid of people saying shit to you and like, what are you doing? Like, what, world doesn't need another one of these people, all that stuff, and all that can run through your head. How have you managed that through your process, and how do you manage that today?
Yeah. I mean, that was definitely something at the beginning that was something I was not used to. And wow. And I couldn't, and even, it's so funny because even my family would come for the comments and clap back. I'm like, okay, we realized that no, we just need to not even say anything. And now I just, I'm like, I'm praying for you, honey. You must be sad. Um, uh, but you come to the point where you just realize that anybody that's talking negatively about you and a troll, they're just trolls. They don't truly know you, and you wouldn't trade your life with them. Like, would you trade spaces with somebody that's trolling you? And at the end of the day, I'm not taking feedback from somebody that's not in the arena doing what I'm doing. I'm not taking feedback from somebody that isn't where I'm going. Like, why would I take advice? And that goes for even your immediate family and friends that can naysay you, not just people online. People online, psh, get real. We don't even, no, like, you just laugh at them. That's just trolls. That's all that is. Don't even. But you can have people in your life too that can be like, what are you doing? I saw you sharing that. You're sharing a lot. Like, okay, and so what's your problem? Like, are you doing what I'm doing? Are you going where I'm going? Are you in the arena with me here? Or are you just looking from the sidelines yelling at me? That doesn't make any sense at all. So goodbye. We don't need your opinions. Thanks. Love you. But we don't need to talk about my social media or what I'm doing, because if you're not doing the same thing, then goodbye. Bye bye.
So I love that about you. I mean, it's such a beautiful mindset. That's the humor. That's 100% the right way to think about reality. And
Yep.
let's wrap this up. So talking about today. So how your process today, where you're like, I'm thinking about what to sell. I'm thinking about how I can improve my offer. I'm thinking about coming up with content ideas. What does that look like for you? What's hard? What do you enjoy? Is there anything you struggle with? What is it like day to day life of a creator, coach,
Yeah.
entrepreneur? Yeah.
Creating content. I mean, I try to create, obviously, like, once you learn kind of what tracks, you learn how to create similar content, just maybe with a little different spin on it. But you create similar things that that are tracking, that are people are like, okay, they're getting that. So you might just create similar type content some days. And then some days I think of, what are people asking? Like, what are the biggest questions that people have to ask? And what are the most common questions that I get? And I will create something that responds to that question, that might help somebody. And I always just look at whatever I'm going to post. It's always a good idea to just think, how is this inspiring somebody? How is this helping somebody? How is this educating somebody? How is this entertaining somebody? You're always wanting to give value. Somehow you're giving value to the person. They're there to get something. They're there because they want something and they need something. So when you show up on your social, you have to, what am I giving this person? I want them to leave with something that they felt like, okay, I was so glad to get that. I needed that. And that's what they're going to keep coming back for, because you gave them something that they needed. So it's not about you. It's about giving them what they need, so that they're going to come back for more, and they're going to want to connect with you. That's how you're going to build that trust and that connection. I mean, some days I might tank. My post might tank, and it might not be a great post, but that's okay. That's no big deal. Like, it is what it is. I don't always have like a brilliant idea or a brilliant thing that I'm going to post, but I'm going to share every day no matter what, because I'm consistent. I show up every single day. So yeah, there might be days that are like, there might be duds. That's fine. That's okay. That's good. We're good. But the more I've done it now, the more and I'm even actually I've been on TikTok quite a bit, and I've just been throwing stuff on TikTok. Like, I've been posting like 4 to 5 times a day on TikTok. Trying to get more traction there. A little bit I feel like Instagram's a little bit different than TikTok. TikTok, I feel like you can just like throw stuff up there, and I'm getting some traction there too. But the more I post, the more traction I'm gonna get. You gotta post a lot there. That's kind of more raw, off the cuff. So yeah, I don't know. Did that answer the question? Okay.
That was a perfect answer.
Okay.
I do like the test more on TikTok, and then
Yeah.
filter more on Instagram. And then I was gonna ask you,
Mm-hmm.
as the following gets bigger, the stakes, everything can be looked at as negative. Where its following gets bigger, stakes get higher, and
Mm-hmm.
then very common for up and coming creators to overthink it and worry
Yep.
about the post doesn't perform. And same thing. Mindset's so important. It sounds like you apply that beautiful mindset that you have to that as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Nope. Don't overthink it. Don't over produce it. Just be you. Like, that's what people want. People want you to be you. And there's so, in a world, in a space where there's just so many people with constant information, I think there's something to be said about people connecting with the true you, and the things that you might think are weird or quirky or different about you. Good. Good. That's what makes you unique, and that's what people want, you
The thing
know?
I would add to that, though, where it is be you, or
Mm-hmm.
so it's almost kind of a paradox, but it's be you, but you've also done a tremendous amount of work on yourself as well,
Yes.
where you
Yes.
are
Don't be you
really
if you're an
striving.
asshole. Work on yourself, do the self development, and then be you.
And that's always the pull with I'd say with a creator who maybe hasn't had a transformation and it still has vices, because that's a different type of creator, right? And that's a different situation. But if I had to give someone advice, it would be the underlying thing is you need to work on yourself as much as possible,
Absolutely.
and then you're gonna work on the skills on top of that, the technical skills and things like that. Then over time, as you have done the work on self, as you've done the technical work, it starts coming together, and that's where it grows. So it is be authentic, be who you are, but also that who you are should constantly be the bar should constantly be raising.
Evolving, becoming a better you all around. Yes. That's a good word. Don't be you if you're an a-hole. Like, be do the self-development, do the self-reflection. Ask people in your life that you love and respect if you're an a-hole, and then go from there.
There we go. Well, that leads me to my final question, which is
Okay.
where you say you're thinking about yourself, you're starting off, I don't know, you're a 25-year-old or you're a 30-year-old, age doesn't matter, but you're a
Mhm.
new creator, and you're someone in health and fitness, you want to build a brand, you want to impact people. What would you tell them? What would your playbook be? No pun intended.
I mean, for sure, the self development. I know you just said that, and I'm not copying you. Um, but I will say that I did a lot just being a business owner before this. I did struggle with the comparison thing, and the imposter syndrome and all that stuff in my business before. And I did the work, and I did the self development work throughout the course of that 13 years of that business. And so I think that also kind of prepped me for where I am today. So I would say, for sure, always be working on self development, but then always be, like I said, putting in the reps. Don't overthink stuff. The more you put in the action and make stuff happen and start sharing, the more experience you're going to get, the better you're going to get at it, the more fine-tuned you're going to get at it. But you're not going to get better if you don't keep doing the reps. Just like lifting, you're not going to get any better if you don't actually put in the reps. You got to put in the reps. Show up every day on your stories, on your feed. Don't let a day go by. Show up every single day. And then even when you are in the valley of despair, because you will be in the valley of despair, it will happen. You'll feel like nobody cares. Nothing's working. Nothing's tracking. Good. But it's supposed to be like that. You're supposed to be in that area. That's hard. It's hard. Keep going. Keep going. And you feel like this is where you told me to keep going. And I just feel like I can't keep going. Good. Keep going. I know, because I felt that and I've been there. So I just would say maybe you need to make a tweak. Maybe you need to make an adjustment. But you got to keep putting in the reps to take the action to know where you need to tweak and adjust and just keep going.
You're a gift. There's spat out a gift with you. There's no doubt.
I try. Thank you.
Well, Alicia, this was amazing. As I wouldn't have expected it any other way. So thanks so much for doing this with us today.
I hope this helps somebody.
It will, 100%.
Good.
All right.
All right. Thank you.